In the past few years, Phyllis Schnurmacher's life has taken a 180-degree turn. She started out studying to be a teacher and got sidetracked into the role of housewife and mother. She is now a leading life insurance agent. Phyllis has achieved outstanding success as a financial planner, specializing in estate and tax planning in New York City. She qualified for MDRT her first year in the business and every year since. She finished her third year in the business, ranking 20th in earnings for mutual benefit life. Phyllis broke the all-time record in the history of mutual benefit for disability income production. A very energetic person, Phyllis says her greatest asset has been her understanding of people and her ability to develop caring relationships with the people in her life. She says, and I quote, "She loves to make things happen." So let's listen now to Phyllis's story and find out just how she makes things happen in her life.
Wow, good morning. This is my moment that I've waited for a very long time. I'm so proud to be part of such a warm and wonderful, loving group of people. I was at a national sales meeting when my friend and company president, Frank Sullivan, opened his talk with a quote from the best-selling book, Megatrends. He said, "We are where we are because of how we got there." Knowing that I am only one of the 6,000 stories that could be told by all of you in this room today makes me feel honored to have been asked to share my story with you. I would like to tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got here, and a lot about the things that I think are important to being successful in any business. First, a little bit of biography. I was married at 18, and I have 3 wonderful grown-up children and a terrific husband of 26 years. For the first 17 years of my marriage, I was a housewife and a full-time mother. I played golf and tennis. I did oil painting and sculpture, charity work. I took adult education courses. And I also became an Amway distributor just for fun. The only reason I even mention my brief experience with Amway is that it was through Amway that I was introduced to the Earl Nightingale tapes, Lead the Field. After I heard them once, I listened to them all the time, and they had a significant effect on my life. Well, there I was for 17 years living the all-American dream. Everything that we were supposed to want from life, I had. And then, right in the midst of my particular dream come true, a small group of Middle Eastern businessmen had a meeting in Geneva, Switzerland. They called their group OPEC, and their little meeting set in motion events that were about to change the world, and in the process, turned my life upside down. My husband, Steve, is in the automobile leasing business, and the oil crisis hit that industry late in 1973. Very quickly, a lot of things changed, and the changes were serious. On one very memorable night, my husband came home, and he told me in one breath, "We got to sell the house, get rid of the housekeeper, tell the kids they can't go to camp, cancel the country club membership, and you got to get a job." Woo! The housekeeper? Anything, but not the housekeeper. I did not want to scrub floors. So I did the only sensible thing to do under the circumstances. I went into shock. Some years later, when I qualified for my first top-level company meeting, one of the qualifiers asked me, Phyllis, where did you come from? Did you drop out of the sky? Well, I realized that I had literally dropped out of the sky. I know I may have disappointed you because you all would have liked me to come out of the sky today, but it seemed as if I had fallen off a rainbow. As you know, there are few things in life that you do all by yourself, and my story is no exception to that. With Steve and my 3 children cheering me on, what I learned about me, how our business works, and the importance of the quality of your life is really the rest of the story. Believe me, back in January of 1974, I was devastated. I had no business experience. I hadn't even graduated college. And my husband needed my help in a new way in our relationship. So I pulled myself together and I put on a happy face, but I was scared to death. And I went to an employment agency in New York City. Let me remind you of something that we already know. You and I don't go out to work every day, no matter how much we love our business, just because it's fun. What I learned about Phyllis was that I needed a damn good reason to go out there and risk my fragile self-esteem on that world. So Phyllis's law number 1 was remember your purpose for being out there. I kept reminding myself how important being successful was to my family and to me. At that employment agency, they asked me what skills I had. Thank God I had none. I might have been a secretary today. They said thank you, but we have nothing for you. But you might try sales. Sales? What on earth did I know about sales? That night I came home and I told Steve what had happened, and he, as a joke, suggested that I sell the Earl Nightingale tapes that I listened to all the time. Let me tell you about those tapes. They worked for me. I knew them well, and I believed in them. Of course, Nightingale Conan in Chicago wasn't interested in an odd call from a suburban housewife from Long Island. They asked me what experience I had, what I'd done, and then they laughed. But I don't give up easily. I took my old set of Lead the Field tapes and I went door to door, the ultimate in cold calls. I went to automobile agencies, real estate agencies. I even went to insurance companies. I gambled with the only thing that I had, my time and my energy. I bought the tapes at retail, and I sold them at retail. In case you think you missed that, I bought them at retail, and I sold them at retail. I decided that if I did well, how could they possibly refuse me? In 6 weeks, I sent them $25,000 in checks and orders, and they sent me a round-trip ticket to Chicago. They wanted to meet the crazy lady from New York. Later, they paid me the commissions on that business, and they hired me to sell for them. I pushed more elevator buttons. I made more cold calls. I had no supervisor and no training. And there I found out about product understanding. Phyllis's law number 2 is that I must have a product that I believe in. And then my energy, enthusiasm, what enthusiasm? Perseverance perseverance pay off. I led the company in sales my first year. And my second year, they radically reduced the commissions on a set of tapes. So I was ready to move on. I found a small marketing firm to sell for, and I took the company's sales from $300,000 to $2.5 million in 2 years. At which point, my boss said he wanted to renegotiate my commissions. Down. I countered with an offer to become a partner in the firm, since I was responsible for the growth, and he said no. And I said goodbye. And I learned Phyllis's law number 3. I would have to be my own boss. No one will ever again dictate how much money I'm worth. I told this story to a friend who was in the property and casualty business, and he threw me Wirbel's insurance book. He said, go home, study, take the test. The insurance business is changing. This is a great opportunity for you. Insurance, I said. I don't want to be an insurance man. He said, you'll do estate planning. You'll do business consultation. You'll do financial planning. I had no idea what that even was. But it sounded good. He said I could make $100,000 and have no boss. That sounded even better. So a short time later, there I was, a career agent with an office view of Fifth Avenue. A lot of promises to keep and very little idea how to keep them. But I did have a marketing strategy. I would see presidents of small, closely held corporations, attorneys and accountants, as many as I could find. It was naive, I know, now. But fortunately, I didn't know it then. Mary Kay Ash of Mary Kay Cosmetics gives a diamond and gold pin in the shape of a bumblebee to women who have sold great amounts of her product. The story that goes with the bumblebee is that the bee shouldn't be able to fly. It's too heavy for its wings. But the bee doesn't know it, so the dumb thing flies anyway. And that led me to Phyllis's law number 4. Success comes when you plunge into the job, even if you have to flap like mad just to stay in the air. Perseverance and endurance are 2 of the most underrated talents in the world. Phyllis's law number 5 is a special one. Build a relationship with people. I put people together for their mutual benefit, Frank, first. And then when business comes up, so does my name. Rarely do I find myself in a competitive situation because I market my integrity, my service, my ability to solve problems with our financial concepts. I don't ever sell policies. I help people to get what they want. I'd like to mention something I found to be very important. We all tend to assume that successful, wealthy, professional people probably have good advisors, and in terms of our business, are well cared for. We're often intimidated by them, and we shouldn't be. They usually need more help than you think. The challenge is to seek them out and then gain their confidence. There is one market I've had no luck with at all. It's my family. To give you an example, my sister told me recently that her husband bought $1 million of ordinary life insurance from somebody else. When I asked her why, she said she wanted to keep our relationship pure. Well, our relationship is pure and it's likely to stay that way. But it's not the rejections that interfere with reaching my goals. It's the paperwork, detail work, and distractions. I've developed a system to help me with the discipline that I need to get me going each day. I must clear my desk, close the door, and refuse to take all calls. Then I make magic. I make lists. I write more lists than anybody I know. My lists have lists. I have to clearly see what I want to accomplish each day and then put it in priority order. And here's the keys to the vault. Phyllis's law number 6, the priority test for anything that comes up during the business day, is simple. Do the thing that you know will get you closer to making money first. I keep one other very special list. It's my wish list. All the dreamy things that I really work for. All the things that I want to have happen in my life. Like speaking to an MDRTD audience. Oh yes, dreams really do come true. And finally, this discussion would not be complete without the single most important ingredient, attitude. So Phyllis's law number 7 is the oldest bromide in the world. Whether you see an opportunity or an obstacle is based on your attitude and your perception. Every problem, every obstacle holds within it an opportunity. My wish today is that my brief moment with you may help you to clarify your own set of rules that govern the way you live and work. And once you've established them, share them. As I've discovered, your own rules will get stronger when you take the time to explain them. And you will get stronger when you give away what you have learned. I'm happy to report that today my husband's business is thriving, and so are we and the children. I like to think of life as a journey across a rainbow. And it's that journey across the rainbow that must be enjoyed. The pot of gold at the end, that's the way that we keep score. But happiness lies not in having achieved something, but in that journey of achieving. And the journey is truly the quality of our lives. I love being here, and thank you for letting me share my story with you.
But you really are. You shoot 72. You have a par round of golf. That's terrific. You've done very well, but not because you stood